both of them running this video.
At the same time?
Yes, at the same time.
Whoa.
Yes, whoa.
Well, you put the freaking car up to your height, not mine. So f you for that.
Today, we are doing something new. We're pulling double duty. Double duty. That doesn't mean twice as much poo. At least inside the dog pen, it's a different story. Logan's gonna learn how to do some wiring. And while she's doing that, I'm gonna tinker with the shift linkage in the Escalade. We need to do relays for the fan. This is like a 97 Thunderbird fan. It pulls a lot of amps. And the relay inside the little standalone deal can't handle it. So we have to put a, bigger relay in there. And we figured out what was wrong with the transmission. If you go back in the last Monte Carlo video, we tried to take this thing to the dyno and it just stopped doing car things, which is really nothing new for this car, but we couldn't figure out what it was. We did figure out what it was, and we filmed a little clip of it way back before we even moved into this shop. So if I can find that, I'll throw it in here. Last video, couldn't figure out the problem. Somebody, actually a handful of you guys, either commented or sent me messages on Instagram saying those solder heat shrink connectors that were on there, the company that made the standalone harness used, those will come apart if they get hot, and even though they look okay, they're not to test them anyway. So I thought, okay, I'll try that real quick. The pin that has battery voltage, like just battery voltage pin, whatever I looked up on the thing, had no power at all on either side of that connector that they used. Now, and I traced it all the way back up to as far as I could see that wire, it had no power. I don't know where in here it's losing connection, but instead of figuring that out, I cut the wire and ran another one from the connector straight to the 12 volt of the battery just to see what it would do if I plugged it in. So we got like this bench test thing going on here. I don't know, can you hear that ringing?
Yeah, I can.
That is the TCM, I believe, from what I read. It has like a wheeling sound or something if it works. So I turn the key on and boom, we have 0 mile an hour rating again and 73-degree transmission temperature. That used to say nothing, and this used to say 158 no matter what I did. Now I kind of want to test something here. I want to pull that wire off and see if this goes back to 158.
Okay.
You want to hold this and film it while I take that off?
Yes.
Actually, just for theater, I'm just going to cut it. Are you ready?
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah. Like clockwork. It was funny.
All right, hear this. Suck it. I win. We know how to fix this now, and that also means, knock on wood, we should just be able to drive it to the new shop and not have to put it on a trailer. If I do the fans.
Honestly, I don't want to jinx it.
Yeah, we'll trailer it over there, knowing that we're on the right track, at least. Now we figured out that for whatever reason, the transmission connector wire that gets 12 volts was not getting 12 volts constant from the battery. Instead of trying to find out where it's broken in there, we're just going to run a new one. We'll run it to a constant 12 volt spot, either the battery or that little thingy on the firewall there is a hot spot, something like that. So that will require cutting, splicing, and heat shrink. Can you handle it?
Yes.
Are you 100% sure?
Yes.
Well, that's good, because even if you weren't 100% sure, you were going to figure it out anyway, because lesson of the day, you don't need to be 100% sure how to do something before starting to do it. Just start doing it and figure it out, and don't be afraid to mess it up. Okay, you ready?
Yes.
Let's go. I think...
Remember that time that we did the lights and it caught on fire?
Yeah, that's check out the Monte Carlo playlist if you want to see all that stupid stuff. We tried to put LED lights in here, and for some reason it didn't work, and it caught on fire and stuff. So yeah, good times. Not really. Yeah, this is just temporary taped up in here, but you're doing this, not me. So why don't you pull that out?
Pull it out.
Pull the connector out of the transmission. You see it? Look at the sock game on point here. Ka-chow.
Ka-chow.
You have to turn it counterclockwise. Okay, now we gotta fish it out through the top.
Oh, you can't pull it this way?
No, because it originates up there, so we'll pull it up through there. So what we're going to do is it joins up down there. Oh yeah, we gotta unplug that O2 sensor. We found out that this car will not start if the O2 sensor is not plugged in. You pull it up through. Okay, yeah, that was just the test.
Tester.
Yeah, that was the test wire. Yeah, oh, I think you pulled it up through the wrong spot. You need to pull it up this way.
Well, that's where I saw it wiggling.
Now you know. I need to fight my urge to just like jump in and start doing it to try to help you, because I need to let you figure these things out.
Well, you put the freaking car up to your height, not mine. So you for that.
Well, I made it so it was easier to do stuff underneath it.
I can fit underneath it better than you.
That's true. Yeah, she's unplugging the oil pressure sensor right now. So get a little more room on there. Here's the thumbnail right here.
Yeah, okay.
It's like literally like through this giant thingy.
Yeah, so what we're gonna do is we got it pulled up as much as we can. We're gonna take this wire and like actually connect this legitimately to here. Run it up through this until it gets to the giant thing, and then we'll poke it out, run it up to here, cut it, and then put an eyelet, a loop end on there, and bolt it to that stud. We got some really cool new wiring stuff from Holley MSD. I want to show you guys. We're going to be using on this. This is neat. I think this is for spark plugs. I borrowed somebody's to do the plug wires in the Escalade. So I thought these were just for spark plugs, but they're not. You can change the dies in here to do regular terminals. Weather tight terminals, douche terminals, you know, stuff like that. We got a couple different kinds here. That's gonna be perfect for what we're doing. These non-insulated ones, and then you crimp them with this, and you do your heat shrink over it, so it's much lower profile than doing yeah, the regular, you know, butt connectors. Just a little bit nicer is what we strive for. Just to be a little better every time. Make sure you're pressing them together. You gotta pick the smallest one that'll still fit over the thickest point of what you're trying to do. And then,
That's really good.
see, the problem is whenever your other end is connected to something and you crimp it, then you can't put it over there and you have to cut it and be an idiot. So yeah, you just leave that off to the side for now, pretend it's not there. Yep, there you go. Give it too much, it'll melt. So it's kind of like, I'm very impatient when it comes to heat shrink. I always want to do it too fast. You feed this up through to there. And then we'll get going on this, because the shifter gates don't line up with the right holes exactly. We'll make sure the parking brake's on.
So that we know that's basically it doesn't work.
That's always good. You always want to label your wires, even after they're wired. I leave the labels on there so you know what they are after the fact. Fun fact, if you go under the Escalade to the fuel pump relay, there's a bunch of little yellow pieces of tape with stuff written on them still on the wires that go to the relay.
Well, damn.
Yep, they say exactly what it goes to. It's in between spots, and that's like where the cable is happy. It's where it's having the transmission. So I think the bracket got bent, so before I adjust anything, I'm just going to try to unbend it and have it click back into the right place and see how it feels. It was never perfectly okay. First gear, I had to go back a little bit farther, but that, from what I've read, is a common fault of those shifters. Just have to pick your battles. You gotta find the one that's the right size for the wire and for the hole.
Oops.
Is that the right wire size?
No, how would I know?
You look at the hole, you can see the gate, see AWG 22, 16, 15, 14. The smaller the number, the smaller the wire. Or the bigger the number, the smaller the wire. What you can do to be trick is cut the pink piece off and then do the black heat shrink instead. Feed it down through there. Yeah, just like that.
Do you want me to plug the thingy back in?
Yep. I'll leave that down like that. Now you can figure out how long that'll need to be. Leave a little more slack in it. Yeah, you always like kind of measure like that.
No, it needs to be longer.
Yeah, so mark it like that, then cut like an extra inch on it. You can kind of hold it in there and then put the wire in if you need to. Yeah. Yep. Oh, damn it, it fell out.
I'm gonna just squeeze the hell out of it.
Yeah, you probably need a new one now.
That was hard.
Yeah.
It's still fine, I think.
Will it fit in there?
I think so.
Give it a shot. If it doesn't, then you can do another one. What you're experiencing right now is what every single person who has ever done this.
Over here.
Okay, don't fall out.
It's so close.
It's my hands aren't strong enough.
You want me to do it? I can get it. Pretty dang perfect. Now we're gonna do fan relay. For those of you who don't know what a relay is or how it works, is this thingy basically uses a smaller electrical circuit to trigger a bigger one to keep large amounts of power away from things that can't handle it. To describe it like an idiot, that's about all I know. So instead of those fans that fan takes too much power for the 30 amp feed that it has. Oh, yeah, that was the right size nut.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that weird skinny one.
Cool. I got another box like when we tear apart cars and we have extra OEM bolts, I throw it into stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Don't need it. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Rob has everything we need. Friend can't have a random nut we can't find. Oh, let's ask Rob, and he has it. He just does. He owns the building, so it's pretty cool to have a building owner that doesn't suck.
Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah, back what I was saying. The power feed for the fan on that thing. Logan has a really bad habit of fidgeting with things that make noise while she's filming me because I'm so boring.
No, I just always have to be doing something. I'm just too like ADHD to like not be doing something.
Well, your task could be like dynamic camera work, like.
Wow.
Yeah.
You look so good like this.
Thanks. You gotta give everybody vertigo.
Yeah, they're gonna get all pissed off.
Okay.
She made me motion sick.
Yeah, freaking that actually happens. But the power feed for the fans from that thing cannot handle the amount of power that fan needs. It will melt. So you're going to use that 12 volt signal when that harness in there triggers the fans on. What it's going to do is send power to one of these wires, which is going to complete a circuit in here through the little, the little feed in the ground. It's going to complete a circuit for the big wires. And one of the big wires will go straight to the battery. The other one goes straight to the fan, and then the fan gets grounded too. So you have the little signal basically turns a light switch on to have the big wires go together. So the current does not have to be supplied by that. That's how the fuel pump runs on the Escalade. That's how the fans run there. And we're gonna have to do it like this too. It's kind of cool. So there's already a relay in that thing, but it's not big enough. So we're basically using a relay to trigger a relay. And I remember learning about relays. For me, the first time was like ultra confusing because they come with this. Yeah, 87 red to fan, pump, etc. So that's like your high current out. And then blue is your ground. And 86, the black wire, is your switch. So this one we will connect to the wire on that harness that feeds the fan normally. This one will get grounded, and these will do something else. How's that for scientific explanation? And this is why I picked it up so much, because we'll be doing most of this from underneath. But Yeah, so this is still hot wired when we tried to just like hard wire it to the battery to get to the dyno, which didn't work. So we're gonna have to undo this part. So I got everything labeled and prepared. I'm not going to bother you at all. So you only ask me if you need something, if you have a question. But other than that, I'm just gonna let you run and see if you can do it. I believe in you. So that's where the relay is gonna go right there. I didn't plug it in, but it's kind of like hung it in this random hole so you can mock it up. So right here it says fan power to fan. That's gonna go to this blue wire where it says relay. So fan to relay, like that. ECU, this wire is gonna go to the wire down here that says ECU.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this blue one that says ground or GND.
What does this even say?
Should I have just like used numbers on these?
Yeah.
Oh, I kind of want to do
Handwriting was bad, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's bad. I used thick Sharpie. It's my fault. This GND will go to this black one under here.
Okay.
That says ground.
I thought the ground was the black one.
On the relay, no, it's not. It doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
Don't listen to it.
It went black to black.
Yeah. Typically, that's how it works, but some relays don't operate like that. When you're doing this, think about how they get routed too. Like even if these did reach together, you wouldn't want to just put them together like that because then you just have a wire chilling on the middle here.
Okay, well, like, what do you want it to do? Like this? I don't fucking know.
So to be clean, this is where you get creative because you can take, so if this goes to the fan, you take it this way and you run it like under this stuff.
Yeah, so
And then like right up, Bruce, go boop, right there. That would
this
work.
looks bigger.
Yeah, well, if you're bridging a long distance, you want bigger wire because it has to carry more power farther distance. The longer the wire is, the more resistance there is, so it needs to be bigger to take it that far.
Yeah.
Can't squeeze it.
No. Oh, the camera's on with the...
Is it started?
Yeah, I started it.
Good job. I can explain this to you and the camera at the same time.
Okay.
What happened was the bracket here was bent down because it hit the drive shaft. Whenever the transmission was ratchet strapped up and kind of pulled over, I noticed there were new scrapes on there in a different spot, or right here, I mean. So whenever we would push it to roll it and move it around, it was scraping on there, and it pulled the bracket like down and over, which changed the throw of the cable. So I beat it back up, and now it's fine. How about that? So yeah, it was from moving around without the transmission in the right spot.
That sucks.
But it's fixed now, and I didn't even have to use any tools. Now, yeah, that's the one that'll go to the battery. So it'll go up to here. This battery terminal lug already conveniently has a little ding-dong pigtail on it for an extra wire, so we'll just use that one. GoPro just told me SD card error 2 times trying to record before this, so maybe the 10 isn't as great as it's supposed to be. But we can find out if the transmission temperature will read. And we're cave people, so this is how we're gonna find out if it worked or not.
Close your eye. I'm trying to help you.
I have some crud on my face.
Yes, stop squinting so hard. I'm trying to help you. Okay.
I get it.
Yeah.
Cool.
I don't want it in your eye.
I don't either. And the car is still full of stuff from moving, which is funny. Having the key on first would help. I don't know how this thing even works. It got water dripped on it when I had that dually and the roof leaked. I need to get a new one of these, like a better one. This thing is freaking old as old balls. I bought it from some guy who had it for a couple years in his truck, and I bought this thing 5 years ago. So this thing is like old. Hey, transmission temp works, and we're not going a bazillion miles an hour, so I think that means we're okay.
Yay.
Sweet. You want to put it on the ground and fire them up?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Both of them. You get to hear both of them run in this video.
At the same time?
Yes, at the same time.
Whoa.
Yes, whoa. This is going to be pretty cool. This will be the first time that these have both run.
I took a cool picture. welcome.
Are you gonna post that picture on your Instagram?
Do you want me to?
Which can now be followed at Logan with 2 N's 42 _.
Yes.
Check it out. Also follow me. If you follow her but you don't follow me, probably gonna have a problem. Just saying. Smell of E85. Yep, power steering works again. Monte Carlo. Would just like everybody to know that that's not how I run. I was trying to be funny. Believe that if you want to. Okay. Now, we're going to start this thing on jack stands first just to make sure it'll actually start before we put it on the ground, and then, you know, maybe we didn't do something right and it doesn't start. So, all you guys in your garage know the feeling.
And then you're going to blame it on me. It's all my fault.
Nope. If it does not work, then it was my fault because all she did is everything that I told her to do. So, but I don't think we're gonna have that problem. So, this thing fires up, Rob's gonna be like, "Oh, that's not the Escalade."
Yeah, I was just thinking that too.
Ready.
He's gonna be like, "What did you do?" Before it gets too stinky in here, we'll take it off the stand so we can actually drive it outside. Different they sound back to back. You can't even hear this one when you're standing over there.
engine that is in that thing now. The original engine from the Escalade is the one running in this car right now. I'm gonna take these things out for some test laps tomorrow when it's daytime and clean them off because they're both incredibly dusty from the the building of the wall and the painting and everything. No guarantees that your merch will not show up smelling like exhaust or E85 fumes from pulling in and out of here. Maybe that's a cool thing. I don't know. But you can go to staplesandautoworks.com and get yourself a shirt or hoodie or something to support the channel and see if it still smells like exhaust. Maybe it will. Maybe we could put a little option on there where we could hold somebody's shirt up to the tailpipe and make it smell for them. I don't know. Is that... Stranger things have happened. Like all those people on the internet that buy bath water from Twitch streamers and crap like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like having a shirt that smells like race car exhaust is way more normal than that crap.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let's have a discussion that has nothing to do with anything in this video. Like important stuff. Like, is it weirder to have a exhaust smelling shirt than it is to buy a Twitch streamer's bath water? Let's light it up. Go comment on other people's comments. Just drive it up. We're out here messing with the tune settings in this thing, and for some reason it just wants to idle at like 1600 RPM and not get it to not do that. I unplugged the stepper motor because I thought maybe it was going bad, and then plugged it back in and it idled fine at like 875, whatever, like it's supposed to. And then all of a sudden it would jump up to like 1600 RPM and 160 steps. So the thingy was opening for no reason when it wasn't supposed to. So we're going to take the Monte Carlo to the parts store and test drive that. And at the same time go get a new idle control valve thingy-bobber for the Escalade. What are you doing?
We're gonna make the Monte Carlo look better.
Yes, we are. I was sort of hoping you would make some type of jacking joke.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we went to go for our test drive to go get an idle air control valve for the Escalade and failed in both parts because the back wheel is like robbing when you hit bumps and it didn't.
You want the jack stands, right?
Yeah, 2 of them. It was rubbing and the regulator was making some weird noises. So I was like paranoid about a fuel leak and we're just like, no, we're not gonna do this. We'll just throw those lift blocks in because we've been meaning to do this anyway. What this will do is go in between the spring and the rear end pad and space the back of the car up like an inch or so. Neither parts store we went to had an idle air control valve, but Jeff at Heinz Racing took one off of one of his cars to test out, see if it works. So if it works, we'll give his back, get a new one. But that's a quest for a different day. The continuation of Logan Learns. You're like the star of this episode, if you want to call it an episode.
Can I be Patrick?
No, I'm Dirty Dan. So, yeah, you can see under here.
What is this made of?
Aluminum. I think this is anodized gold. You can see under here. See where the spring sits on the rear end there?
Yeah.
Those go in between the spring and the rear end. It's that easy.
That's weird.
And what we have to do that is unbolt the shocks from the rear end so the rear end can sag down enough to get space in between here.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's like really simple.
It's not moving.
Pull it off and readjust it so that you have you can push it straight up. You have a better angle on it.
Like that?
Yeah.
It's not working.
Try harder.
I am!
There you go.
Damn. That was a lot easier.
Yeah. All about leverage. Yeah, so we gotta pull these bolts out or pop the shocks off because the shocks are what keep the rear end from drooping farther than this. So we lower that down until there's a gap. You put the pucks in and you pick the rear end back up and put the shocks back together. Pretty simple. And then we'll get to see how it sits. This should also give us the clearance we need to run the the aero wheels and drag radials.
You're so strong.
You just pull on it.
You're good at breaking things.
I really didn't even know for sure if that was what needed to be done. I just was kind of like, well, if I pull on it and something happens, then it was the right thing to do. If nothing happens, then we need to go about this a different way. Ties back to the moral of the story in the beginning of the video. You don't have to know exactly what you're doing before you start doing stuff.
Oh, you do one side at a time.
Yes.
Aha! You're so smart, baby.
Yeah, if 18-year-old me could figure this out, I freaking better be able to figure it out now, because last time I did this, I didn't even know how to work on cars, so it's lucky I didn't hurt myself. For sure. Oh, look at that flex. Like all these Jeep people, go film this.
Oh my god.
Yeah, get back out here. Yeah, you take a picture. Freaking Dance Nation. Whoa.
I can't say what I'm thinking.
Yes. You got it.
Get in there!
Okay. You know, go stand over there for the brand unveiling.
It looks better. I think it needs two of those. It needs to be, I don't know.
Yeah. We can get 2-inch ones.
Yeah.
I had 2-inch ones before, but I thought they might have been a little bit too much maybe, or at least too much with those tires because they're like kind of low profile, but so I didn't want to push it. I didn't want to be too aggressive, but this helps a lot. Time to go around the block?
I think so.
Okay, let's do it.
Feel better?
Yeah, I feel better.
Stop making any noises.
Did they just flip us off?
No, he gave the thumbs up, I think.
Well, that's what I thought too. I was like, why would a guy pulling into a drag strip flip us off? Like, you know his window was down and he heard that and he probably thought it was like cool. That'll be our test drive route. Every time we need to go shake down a car, we're just gonna go to DEI and turn around. Back in the early days of this car, I got used to how just aimless the steering was. Like, I got to know the car. And I would go way too fast on back roads and be completely fine with it because I was used to doing it. I was just like, oh yeah, whatever, I'm just freaking ripping. And people who ride with me would be like, I don't ride with you anymore. I'm like, what? It's fine. I wouldn't think anything of it because I knew the car.
So we're just cruising along, going to DEI. And I look over and Mitchell looks extremely bored driving the Monte Carlo. Like, he looks like a disappointed dad.
Yeah, I just punched it a little bit and spotted like my facial expression just didn't change. And I probably was disappointed because in my head I'm like, I don't want to lift, I just want to go. I can't. It's a 45-mile-an-hour road and we obey the rules of the road. And you should too.
There it is in all of its glory.
Yep, and we need to start coming here earlier in the day so it's not freaking closed.
Be like a flat screen right here.
Yeah, we need a lot of things in here.
Hey, cute butt!
Hey, you say nice butt?
Yeah, I said it was cute, but same difference.
What?
It's a cute butt!